refused to do it.
Amazingly, they didn't decide to do that, and that's when we had to move on to litigation.
Fire brought me into contact with Center for Individual Rights.
And we contacted our illustrious legal network member, Carol Sobel, who's a longtime ACLU attorney.
An attorney out here in California that filed a case in federal court.
This was not a case Cal Poly was going to win.
They didn't listen to us for almost a year. They listened to the judge and said, okay, we're going to settle.
We told them almost a year before, you don't stand a chance in this case. This is not a close call.
My record had to be expunged. My legal fees had to be paid.
They lost on every single possible grounds.
I mean, I went from them having complete power of, potentially being able to kick me out of school to now them having to pay me $40,000.
$40,000 out of the taxpayer's pocket.
Cal Poly was just an amazing case. They dummied up charges. They held a ridiculous hearing.
People were moving forward on Steve just out of sheer emotion.
It was something that they had worked very hard to try to figure out something they could get him on.
It had nothing to do with his disrupting a meeting that wasn't starting for another half hour.
The administration wanted to send a message to all the students that this could be you.
Imagine that message. I'm just out posting flyers for one of our events, and I could get kicked out of school.
Why should I put my entire future and my entire academic career in jeopardy just because I'm hanging a flyer for the college Republicans?
If I was a freshman and I saw that, I'm thinking, I'm not going to get involved in this group. I'm not going to go post flyers. My parents would kill me.
If any time you posted a flyer, you had to consider the risk of having a 7-hour hearing, nobody would post flyers.
They had tried on a number of different occasions to essentially shut down the college Republicans.
Right, exactly. And they'd done it as a group, and they'd always been unsuccessful, and I think now they saw this as an opportunity to get at one of the members.
I personally think that part of the motivation for going after Steve is, well, if we can't get the club as an institution, we can discourage people from participating in it.
This is a perfect example of how hypocritical it is to want diversity, but not diversity of ideas.
Were they opposed to Steve's being a white conservative, or were they opposed to Mason Weaver being a black conservative?
All of the above.
This happens on every college campus. This happens to a lot of students.
There is something very worrisome about a university that would teach students that in a situation where someone's posting a flyer they disagree with, to call the cops.
And they like calling the cops out there at Cal Poly. Let's just say I found out the hard way. Hello. I'm looking for some university official to comment on the Stephen Hinkle case.
That would be public affairs you need to go to.
Thanks a lot. Hi, how are you? My name's Evan Maloney. I'm working on a documentary film, and I've been trying for a number of months to get administrators from Cal Poly to speak on the Stephen Hinkle case. And to date, nobody's returned my phone calls or emails. I'm trying to find someone who's willing to comment on the case. All of the people who are involved in the case don't seem willing to talk. I guess I could meet you in the front lobby. Okay, thanks a lot. Take care. Yes, hi, Evan Maloney.
Can I talk to you?
Yes,
Hi.
Very nice to meet you.
I'm Teresa Hendricks. I'm
Hi,
from
Teresa.
Public Affairs. Here's the statement.
Could you read it for us?
No, I gotta give it to you.
You can't read the statement?
No, but that's the statement that we're giving everybody.
There's no apology here for Mr. Hinkle.
That's the statement, and you're welcome to film anywhere on campus. So, good luck.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Cal Poly never did apologize to Stephen Hinkle, and they still refuse to admit they did anything wrong. But in my experience, people usually don't shell out $40,000 for no reason at all. And if they stand by what they did, why wouldn't anyone talk on camera? I couldn't even get them to read their own statement. Well, the nice PR lady did say I could film anywhere on campus. Maybe Cal Poly's president would have the courage to explain the school's actions. I was wondering if we might be able to speak with the university president.
Hi. Would you please put that down? Put it down now. Come on.
So I take it we can't speak with the university president?
Who are you?
My name's Evan Maloney. Nice to meet you.
From which organization?
I'm an independent filmmaker.
Well, good for you.
Do you have anything to say to the taxpayers of California for the $40,000 that was spent in the Hinkle case?
Please come with me.
There's nothing that you want to say to the taxpayers of California as to why you spent $40,000 to persecute one of your students politically?
I'd be pleased to make available...
All you need to do is make a comment. This was wrong. Can you at least say this was wrong?
I'd be pleased to make available a comment from an officer of the university, but I am not prepared to comment myself. Michelle, would you please call the public safety office? You do not have an appointment to see...
But I couldn't get an appointment.
You don't have an appointment to see the president?
No one would respond to my requests.
Well, I understand your frustration, and I'd be happy to put you in touch with an appropriate university official. The president is not available to speak with you now.
Well, he was just in there, it looks like, just kind of sitting around.
The president is not available to speak with you at this time. Certainly welcome to go and speak to our Director of Public Affairs, Leah Colt. I'll be glad to respond to your questions.
Okay, so I have your word that they'll speak with me today?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much.
Well,
I appreciate
sorry,
it.
this has not been a civil visit, and I appreciate
I think it's
your
been
interest,
civil.
and you're welcome to go.
Why do you think it hasn't been civil?
Because you came up here and demanded an audience with the president of the university.
I was wondering if we might be able to speak with the university president. If no one will return my emails, if no one will respond to my phone calls, what other recourse do I have than to show up?
I've directed you to the public affairs office.
Well, you say this isn't civil. I think this is remarkably civil. I'm not...
Well, then I'll shake your hand. If you believe it's civil, then let's part the company on civil terms. And you're welcome to go to the public affairs office.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right.
That guy was pretty funny. He was like a character in a movie.
Hi.
I guess now he is a character in a movie.
Well, good for you.
Of course, I forgot he told his assistant to call the police.
Please call the public safety office.
And they soon surprised our cameraman from behind. We never did make it down to the public affairs office.
You need to leave or you're going to go to jail. Okay?
All right.
So you need to grab your stuff. Let's go. Get in your cars. You need to roll. I can't comment on anything.
We're traveling to a number of different schools where students have been harassed because of their political views, and you know, so this was one of the schools, obviously, that was on the list. If they don't want to respond to phone calls or email, I don't know what else I can do other than show up in person.
I'm non-biased in this case, brother, but we got to do what we got to do. Here's what's going to happen. You guys need to go off campus and stay off campus, because if you come back, you know, you're going to subject yourself to being arrested. Okay, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, it's good meeting you guys, but I hope I don't see you again.
Likewise. Nothing personal. Right. Take care.
Well, the good thing about getting kicked off campus is I got the rest of the day off. And I guess Steve was celebrating too. It was that very morning when his victory over Cal Poly was announced. But for Greg Lukianoff at FIRE, it's all in a day's work.
Students are being told that they have fewer rights than they do, and that when they engage in clearly protected speech, very standard tame speech, they're being punished. And that is not acceptable in a free society. We've been involved in literally hundreds of cases. We've helped thousands upon thousands of students. We've made a lot of converts in our short existence. There are certainly people who at one point said, no, there's no free speech problem on campus, who have either stopped saying that or have completely come over to the other side.
Many of FIRE's cases involve speech codes, obscure rules used by university administrators to punish students who express unpopular opinions.
A speech code is a rule or regulation at a university that violates a substantial amount of protected speech, or what would be protected speech in the larger society. Speech codes are a complete scandal.
FIRE recently studied nearly 200 schools and found that 89% of them have speech codes.